Hello, everyone. Before we get started today, I wanted to let you know, especially if you are one of my loyal listeners that is looking for a little bit more, I've created a paid subscription option for the podcast for 99 pence per month. On top of this being ad-free and just purely being the essence of the episodes, I will be doing bonus episodes, some personal update episodes, and we'll also include any information, invites into any virtual workshops or online things that I do in the future. So if you fancy it, check out the show notes below with the link and enjoy the show. Hello everyone. Today's episode is brought to you by HelloFresh. Do you feel like you are stuck in a dinner rut? With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-measured ingredients with mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. Skip all those trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. You can now enjoy cooking and get dinner on the table in 30 minutes or less. With over 25 recipes to choose from each week, there is something for everyone to enjoy. All recipes are designed and tested by professional chefs and nutritional experts to ensure deliciousness and simplicity. Personally, my favourite thing about HelloFresh is the vegetarian dishes. On top of being fresh ingredients, the variety of recipes and dishes provides us with inspiration, as it can always be a bit of a chore thinking up of new recipes, especially when looking at vegetarian dishes. Go to the link in the show notes to get 50% off your first box and then 35% off your next 3 boxes. That's the link in the show notes for 50% off your first box and then 35% off of your next 3 boxes. HelloFresh, the #1 meal kit. Please note that this offer is only available for listeners in the UK. Now, on to the show. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Self-Improvement Project. I hope everybody is well. I hope if you are a part of the Sunday Thoughts group that get my email every Sunday, that you're enjoying some of the longer form elements of my thoughts. There will be times maybe where I avert back to the 3 thoughts that will help provoke those peaceful Sunday mornings for you. However, today's episode is all about time. Our perception, the concept of time within our lives. And the episode is called Stop Wasting Your Life Being Productive. Now, what is time? Time is something that has been manufactured for us to utilize to somewhat make or mold our lives. Something to mold our lives around, perhaps. And we believe we know how to use it. However, we also have an element of tunnel vision towards it. As individuals, we are pushed to make the most of and be productive with our time. Without even thinking about it consciously, you will know exactly what I mean by those phrases. And the first time that we are open to these phrases, maybe through school or through further education such as college, university, or even perhaps in your first job, they can feel a bit like motivation to achieve whatever it is that we need to. Tasks, to-do list, promotions. And our ability to convey how productive we can be, or how we can make the most of time when everybody else has the same amount of it, for example. It can feel like we can get access to some sort of cheat code, to some sort of life hack that will ultimately make our lives better as a result of. But after a while, and nobody mentions this, you end up drowning. You end up drowning in either schedules that have started to pile up without you even noticing, commitments, potentially socially, because you've become so popular and everybody admires what an efficient and productive human being you are. Or maybe you want to be liked. Or just general over-busyness of the two. Your life is non-stop because you are so productive. Let's just stop for a second and realise how silly that sounds. The whole point of being productive or making the most of the time is surely so that you have more of it. Not to waste, but more of it for you. More of it to do the things that you want to do. The things that you enjoy, not anybody else. This whole situation that we create, potentially blindly, ends up making us feel drained. And then we ask ourselves, why do I feel so tired and drained all the time? This idea and these thoughts come from a book that I've recently started reading and enjoying called 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. It essentially argues that we are trapped by ourselves with our use of time, and we need to spend what we have of it better on this earth. As a species at the moment and in the society we live in, we are terrible at using our time best for ourselves with the time that we have. As you can imagine with episodes that I've done, even if we go all the way back to 2020 where I talk about slowing down and enjoying certain things in life, to other examples of living a more simple life, this instantly resonated me through these years of talking about it, interest that I have around the concepts, and just experiencing it, or experience of trying to live that way for a number of years. The notion of slowing down, seeking a calmer way of living, are starting to feel more validated when we explore these questions that are being asked of the way that we live. Why do we spend so much time doing more things? What are the true reasons behind that? The whole concept of less is more comes from knowing what is meaningful to you. We usually pile more onto ourselves when we don't know what matters. But like anything in life, the more we surround ourselves with, the more we become. When everybody else in your world is doing everything all the time, so should you, and you ultimately will, despite your maybe initial resistance. But taking pride in knowing what is meaningful to you is essentially a superpower in this day and age. It's okay if you don't know, and it's okay if you have something and you want to continue to develop that interest and curiosity. That's what makes life worth living. But When we don't know and we're not looking for something that's meaningful and we're filling it with empty substance, this is where this issue comes from. And with time and our use of it, it's all about knowing what is most meaningful to us. It would be easy in this podcast episode to talk in common cliches, yet the message here is very simple. You don't have as much time as you think you do. Now, these messages of you don't have as much time as you think you do, you're going to die one day, memento mori, etc. We shouldn't let these phrases, as well as big life events, remind us of our own mortality. It's not something to be scared of, but it should be used enough to make ourselves wake up and live a life worth living for us. The number one thing that you need to do to make sure that you don't look back on your life with regret at any stage, there's no guarantee that everyone's going to live till they're 80, 90, 100. To guarantee that you're not going to look back whenever your time is to make sure that you're living a meaningful life now through taking control over your decisions of how you spend your time. Because ultimately, when it comes to time overall as a concept, you're never going to be able to control it. You're never going to be able to control every little aspect of your time. If you remove time as a concept completely, taking control of your decisions of what you do in your life is up to you. So reverse your thinking today. Analyze and reflect upon what your current life looks like right now and how much of it and the time that you have are you choosing to spend it the way that you want. Choosing what's meaningful and what matters to you. Stop worrying about upsetting people. Stop worrying about keeping up. This is your life, not anybody else's. And the really pleasing and point that will give you the most peace of mind here is that the things that are meaningful, or probably most meaningful to you, will positively impact on the people that matter to you. So even though this concept might seem quite selfish in the short term, in the long term, it's going to mean that you're spending time and effort on the people that matter to you the most. And that's us today. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it makes you question the next productivity post or video or conversation you have with someone. And I will see you all next time. Cheers. Hey guys, me again. I hope you enjoyed that episode. And if you're not ready for the Becoming Unstuck in 30 Days self-led course quite yet, why don't you try my free ebook I created? 5 simple steps to improve yourself and your life. I made this during the very first lockdown of the pandemic in the early days of the Self-Improvement Project. It's a quick go-to when you're feeling unsure what to work on when improving yourself or your lifestyle. And the great starting point if you're trying to figure out how to live a more fulfilling and simple life. The link for this will be in the show notes for you. Have a good one.